Okay, friends, welcome back to our online Bible study. We were off last week. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And today we are going to jump right back into the middle of John chapter 6, which is a tough place to jump back in because John chapter 6 is hard. I mean, it's one of the toughest chapters in the whole Bible. If you had to sum up John chapter 6, it might be summed up as this. In the beginning, Jesus does bizarre things. And then in the second part, Jesus says bizarre things, but the whole thing's bizarre. The things that he does that are bizarre, the feeding of the 5,000, the walking on water, we looked at. Now we're going to talk this week about some of the bizarre things that Jesus says. Okay, so we're really just getting started, and then all through this week, we're going to try to dig into this chapter more and more. Today, kind of the chunk that we're reading is 22, verses 22 through 34. I'm just going to hone in on a couple of them, highlight just a couple. There's more here. There's always more here than we can cover, especially this week. There's going to be more that we can cover. But let's just look at this. Because in 28, the people around Jesus ask him a pretty important question. What must we do to do the works God requires? So what do we need to do what God requires? What a big question. And Jesus boils it down beautifully, simply. Jesus answered, the work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent. That's what the work of God is, to believe in the one he has sent. Now, is it more complicated? Sure. Is it difficult? Yeah. But really, it's all summed up in this. You want to do the work that God requires of us? Believe in the one he sent, which of course is Jesus. Believe in Jesus. And what does that mean? We've talked about this before. For many of you, this will be repetitive, but it's super important. The idea of belief is way more than we think about it today. Belief here is the Greek word pisteuo, or belief is the verb. The noun is pistis. And to pisteuo in something is to believe in it. It's to have faith in it. It's to trust in it. It's like to build your life around it. It wasn't a religious word. It just meant that if you have pistis in something, it means that you trust it with everything that you got. Generals sometimes would implore people to pisteuo in them, to believe in them, to come and follow after them. It means to orient your life. It means to orient yourself around something. So he says, you want to do the work that God's got for you? Believe in me. Again, there's so much more to that, but meaning come and follow after me and learn to know what I know and to do what I do, so that in time you can become more and more like me. If you want to boil it down, that's what it means to live a godly life. It means to believe in, to follow after Jesus. So what's the breakdown here? And by the end of chapter 6, we said this. There's some people who do not want to follow Jesus anymore. Here's the first hang up for some of them. The first hang up for some of them is that they don't want to be building their life around anybody else. They don't want to be following. They want to be up on the point. Following after Jesus is a step of humility. It's to say, nope, here's the thing. I may be a leader in a lot of areas of my life, but before I can be a leader, I'm a follower. I'm going to lead others as I allow Jesus to lead me. Now, he then talks about things and things get way more difficult. And he says some things that actually drive some people away, and they say, look, I'm willing to be a follower, but I'm not willing to be a follower of a lunatic like this guy. We'll get to that. But to start off, I think a good place for us to begin this week is just to ask a question. Are we willing to follow? Are we willing to be in second place? Are we willing to lead others only as Jesus leads us? So I think it's a good place to kind of stop and evaluate that. Ask ourselves that. Am I willing to follow? And if the general answer is yes, then to dig in a little bit deeper and say, is there an area of my life where I'm not? Is there an area of my life where I'm holding back, where I'm not willing to follow? That's just scratching the surface, the beginning of this second part of John chapter 6. So keep up with your reading. hold on tight. You are not going to understand all of this. I do not understand all of this. But if you read slowly, spend some time with it, ask the Spirit to guide you, and you stick with these Bible studies, you will not understand all of it, but you might find yourself understanding more of it. God bless you, friends. We'll see you next time.